Welcome to the Blackout podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today, super excited to have friend, artist, designer, musician, and straight up, actually musician also. And we're about to start this, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk about the art and stuff, but I found out you also just released the album yesterday. So first off, thanks for coming to the podcast today.
Well, thank you, Israel. It's a pleasure to be here.
And let's talk about the music, because I didn't know you did music. Actually, I don't know why because to me it was like fabulous artist. I didn't think, oh wait, they also make music too.
Yeah, it's I'm one of those people that does a little bit of everything, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, the music it's a group called Minus World, and we just released our album Last Dance just yesterday, actually. So yeah, it's out on the streaming services. It's on Bandcamp if you like that kind of thing. And, and yeah, it's like a synth pop cosmic journey sort of vibe, and a little bit, if you like game music, there's a little bit of that in there for you too.
Oh, yeah. Relaxing.
Oh yeah,
relaxing. I find game music relaxing. Some game music relaxing. So let's talk Minus World. You mentioned that title, and I just thought, okay, this sounds sci-fi, like
Absolutely. We are an electronic rock group in some ways. We have Seth Voliere on guitar and Cat Williams on the drum kit. But otherwise, all of the music is sequenced. So we don't have a bass player. There might be an opening. Anyone watching would like to apply. But yeah, so it's this opportunity to kind of create these really interesting soundscapes and do more kind of intricate harmonic work in the background. And I'm heavily inspired by video games and video game music. That's actually the whole reason I'm a musician in the first place. I used to play Final Fantasy back in the 90s. And those soundtracks by Nobuo Uematsu are like extremely had a big impact on me, actually. So I started writing game music, and eventually that evolved into writing pop music and learning to sing and find my voice. So and eventually that's culminated in this album that we just released. So like, how long have the group been together now? Well, that's a funny thing. Kat and I formed Minus World around I'm dating myself here, right? Around like 2010-ish there. And then we played for a couple years, released a little bit of music, and then the band broke up at one point. And then years later, I think 2016, 2017, we contacted each other again. We were like, hey, that was a lot of fun. Like, we should do that again. And by that time, I'd met, Seth, who became a very good friend of mine, and is an extremely talented guitar player. He plays with Andrew Branch and Post Fun as well as many, many other bands in Halifax. Holy shit. And so I was like, get over here and play guitar for me. And yeah, we got together as a group, and just as things were revving up again, it's the end of 2019, 2020. COVID. I don't know if you remember a little something happening called a global pandemic. Yeah. So things got put on hiatus, and then once things started to chill out, we got back together, and it's like, okay, now is the time. So there was this big gap in between our releases. So if you go online, or if you're on like Spotify or something, you'll see like we released a single in 2012, and then the next song came out in 2014. So a bit of a gap there, but we're really happy to be doing it again. We love playing live, but in the studio it's this new opportunity. I'm a big fan also of like conceptual albums. Not to say that this is a concept album per se. Okay. But there's I love to include extra bits in between songs or try to link themes together, that sort of thing. So when you listen to the album Last Dance, you'll kind of go on this like cosmic journey. It starts out with a song about dreams, and it ends somewhere way, way out in the outer reaches of the cosmos.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's like an animation, but it's like actually, it's Daft Punk, so I think it's Discovery. So like Discovery, is an album,
Yes.
but like it's a film also, but it's an anime. And then so they are telling this story of these aliens that come to Earth, and then stuff happens to them, and then, but I guess each part of the story is a different song from the album. Yeah, I love that flow.
We're working on it. Funding is a little light right now.
God. Oh my God, tell me about it.
Yeah.
So what's the process when it comes to making music?
It starts out very often with me fiddling around on my laptop, which, where most of my art, a lot of my art starts from. But I started out as like again, doing like video game music. So back in the day, I would be using a piece of abandonware called Noteworthy Composer to sequence like MIDI tracks and that sort of thing. And around the time Minus World started, I became quite obsessed with chiptunes, which are classic like Nintendo songs.
Oh.
So basically, you got your square wave, sine wave, saw wave, and that's it. That's all you got. So we started out with that kind of like chiptune sound, along with like piano and vocals. It's evolved now. We're using, some Super Nintendo and PlayStation sounds now. So we're almost up to like the mid-90s with our sound. But yeah, I love creating that kind of music. That's like kind of my bread and butter. A lot of songs start out instrumentally, but when I'm writing, honestly, oftentimes the music and the words tend to come at the same time.
Oh.
I don't have a strict process. Sometimes there's something sometimes it's a really cool groove or like a cool like melody or something, and I'm like, oh, that should be a song. But other times it's something I have to say, or something that's like just won't leave my mind, and it's like, okay, I have to put this into words somehow, and that's where the song can start.
Gosh, man, people that make music, but are like mind blown. But you don't only do music; you also paint and you also design. Like, so, how did you get into art itself?
I would say, obviously I love music, but art is my first love, visual art. As long as I can remember, I've been drawing cartoons and comics. I like to say that I'm a cartoonist that's like pretending to be an artist, a fine artist in some ways, because that's what I really love doing is like drawing, comics and that kind of thing. But from like 3 years old, I was like obsessed with reading newspaper comics and strips, and it took me a while to actually get into doing that kind of thing, but I was always obsessed with drawing characters. Growing up, I loved Marvel Comics, so I'd do my own kind of like versions of those characters.
Right.
But I was very much obsessed with creating my own worlds and creating my own characters in that way. Yeah.
Would they be Marvel characters or just like your own stuff?
Yeah, I would kind of come up with my own stuff. I had like a superhero version of myself.
Oh.
Kind of like Batman and Superman smushed together.
Holy shit.
As you do. And then one that I remember that I came up with quite early was, it's kind of embarrassing actually. I had this character called Elfman. I don't know why, but he was a Christmas elf.
Right.
But he punished the bad kids. So I gave him a Punisher emblem on his chest, and he had like as many guns as I could draw him holding. And if that's
actually cool. Why did you find that embarrassing? Because like Elfman, okay, I get it. I'm like, but what he does, because like, okay, the bad kids don't get stuff, but like Elfman is there to punish. That's actually a cool character.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, he wouldn't punish kids.
No, not kids, not kids, not kids, not kids, not
But he
kids.
would punish, crime bosses
Yeah.
who were definitely on the naughty list.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so freaking cool. Why would you be embarrassed about that? I think people that can paint and draw are like freaking out of this world because I can't for the life of me do anything. I go to those things where you drink and paint and stuff.
Okay.
It never looks like the thing at the end. I'm like, I can't try, and they try to make it easy. It's like, no. So, when you're making art, like, do you kind of see the finished thing before you start painting it, or as you're making it?
That's interesting. I have a vision typically. I do like to envision things a lot. In recent years, though, I've really come into and enjoyed this process of like almost improvisational art, or like walking into a situation and just kind of like laying something down and just seeing what pops out. Like with live painting that I do, I've been a live painter at Future Forest the last couple of years, and had started with Future Forest in I think 2016 was the first time I painted at their festival. And it's always a really great experience. I love live painting because it's kind of like a performance.
It is a performance. Like you decide what you're gonna paint and stuff, so you know what you're gonna do in that type of situation, though, right?
Well,
No,
not really. I sometimes like I'll sit down and I always carry like cue cards with me now. I really like drawing on cue cards, and I'll just like doodle a character or something, or like draw something on the cue cards. Oh no, I don't like that. Draw something else. Oh, I don't like that, and discard it until you kind of land on something. So there is like a process where before I start painting, I'll, draw something on a cue card. But sometimes also like painting is interesting because as long as you move fast enough, you can make a lot of mistakes and kind of just cover them up. So sometimes I'll start with a lighter color and just literally sketch with the paint on the canvas, and then you come up with the shape. I like drawing a lot of figures because I like drawing characters. To me, like a character is a great way to kind of explore a world, and you kind of like get a sense for like a history of these characters as you're like painting them. And that comes back to my like love of comics, science fiction, fantasy, movies. Like I am obsessed with that kind of storytelling that happens through the visuals of characters and settings. Although I'm quite rubbish at like background art, so that's why I tend to focus on characters, like because I've mostly practiced figures and that sort of thing.
background is where the characters get into, like, the space they're in, right?
Yeah, and literally like it's a pain in the ass to like draw buildings and stuff. So it's like it's like that's great. One time for like a gig poster I drew like a condo building in the background. Never again. Like it took so long because you're sitting there with a ruler just like drawing in like 50 windows on the side of this condo, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it looked good. I'm proud of it. I'll have to see if I have it with me. I shouldn't talk about these things without having a visual with it.
No, that sounds pretty cool. Oh, actually, talking about Future Forest and live painting, what was the last thing you live painted there? Like at the last one?
Let's see. I actually sold the painting that I worked on for most of that weekend, which was nice. It went to a very good home. But it was this like six-armed, like purple space god. Yeah. And the best thing about those kind of paintings too is people come up and they talk to you and they will tell you what they see. So you get all kinds of really cool stories from other people about what they think that character is or creature or being. And I remember with this particular painting, like the shape of it came together pretty quickly. So people were quite interested in it because they could see the hands, right? Which is something I love to draw. And blessedly, I'm pretty good at it at this point.
Apparently, that's one of the most difficult things to do, hands.
people hate drawing hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep like I've seen all these documentaries and people just don't like drawing hands, and apparently like that's why AI sucks at hands.
Yeah.
Like gives people six fingers and all these things.
Yeah, it's atrocious. And by the way, I hate AI.
We're gonna get in that.
We're getting there.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, my obsession with hands, I think, I shouldn't say I'm obsessed with hands. Maybe that sends the wrong message to our viewers. And I'm also a foot enjoyer. We'll get that out of the way. I enjoy drawing feet, just so everyone at home knows. It can be difficult. But I believe was it Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko? One of those guys said that the face and the hands are the main way that expression and happens in like comic books. It's like that's what tells you what the character is actually doing or feeling in that moment. And I'm like, wow, that's really obvious, but I'd never thought about it before. So when I'm drawing a character, I do tend to think about the hands and the face a lot. And of course, a lot of artists also like avoid drawing legs and feet because they're also notoriously difficult. But we're getting there. I always make myself draw the whole figure if I can.
So why do you make it so difficult?
I don't know. You know what? You got to challenge yourself, right?
Right. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. When it comes to like your art, do you have any process to titling your art, like giving them names and stuff?
Oh, that stuff just kind of pops in. I do love naming the characters.
Because I'm thinking of this like purple alien thing, goddess, being that you made a feature for us. Did it have a title?
Oh my, yes, I did give them a title. It was like, I can't remember the name because it just kind of flashed in my head and I wrote it on the back.
Oh, okay.
To me, yeah, what was the name? It was like, probably a string of syllables like Modoro Kaido or something like that. Something that sounded cosmic and like otherworldly. I have this kind of like world that I'm constructing for a comic book series that I'm working on.
I was going to ask you if you ever thinking of making a comic, but yeah, let's go with it.
It's a long process. I started writing a script for a comic called Wizards 99K. Oh my God, like 4 years ago, I think. And the script is finished for the book and it's been going through revisions and I've got a bit of quite a buildup of character art at this point.
Wow.
But it's a pretty expansive universe and includes like different time periods, mostly so that I can play in it like a sandbox. And it's gotten to this point now where like 90% of what I draw or like illustrate like or even paint like relates back to that world. Because there's a lot to draw from and I love like fantasy and science fiction, and the concept that I'm working on kind of marries these two things. So it's great to draw from that, but it doesn't look so like particular that people look at it and they're like, it's like, oh, this looks like it's from like some comic book series that I don't know the lore for, and like look, it's like too big of an investment to figure out what's going on. Like the drawings are still very like accessible, I think, you know what I mean? But it is fun for me to like kind of draw from that world and also at the same time keep expanding everything about it.
So, I mean, you have this big world. Like, are you going to narrow it down to this one character story so you can tell different people's story in that world? Or what is your approach to the comic you're trying to make?
I'll be honest, it started out as a parody of Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh.
Because I was like, it'd be kind of funny. It's like they're basically wizards in space. Like that's the joke, right, of Star Wars. So I thought like, well, what if they were literally wizards in space? Which is also like a thing. Like people have done this before. Like I also realized like I couldn't concern myself with like trying to come up with something that has literally never been created before, because then I think you would tear yourself apart trying to do that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, you know what? I like wizards. I like magic. I like spaceships. And it's like let's put let's put some wizards on a spaceship and like see what happens.
Mm.
And yeah, they kind of go through this like adventure yarn, and they meet like a princess, and there's an evil bad guy that's like doing some Machiavellian like political like
So
shit,
cool.
you
Yeah.
know, and they meet like a bounty hunter and yada yada yada. You know, it's like it's all the good stuff, but I'm putting my own kind of twist on it.
Yeah, I'm like really dipping into that world. So I don't know. There's a show. It's like animation. It's called, I think, Secret Level or something.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's actually really good, but it's kind of like actually so Secret Levels is Amazon's version of Netflix's Toys, Deaths and
Hmm.
Love, Deaths and Robots. You know this.
Yes,
Anyway, so there's an episode of Secret Level because each story is just its own thing. Like, and this one was about Warhammer, and
Oh
it's
yes.
like, ugh,
Oh yeah, yeah. I have heard of that. Yeah.
it's so good. It's like 8 minutes of like violence, but like really beautiful violence. Like, and I don't know anything about Warhammer, but I guess, it's like a table board game, and it's like space, but deities and all are there. And so this episode is like this guy, he gets a mission, and they're like, the mission, y'all are gonna die, but you have to take this body to this place. And then anyway, so they come down from their spaceship, go on this world, people are trying to kill them, they fight everybody, and then they finally get to where they are supposed to bring out this. They've been dragging a coffin all the way. I forgot to tell you this.
Grim. I like it.
Anyway, so they get to this place, open the coffin, this like priest comes out, he's blindfolded, he starts like doing some incantations, and then this tree opens, and then this beast comes out. The beast is like way out of their pay grade, like starts killing them one by one, but kills them by showing them their fear.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So like, and then he comes to this guy, but this kid has no fear, and then the kid kills the thing. It's like really good. So when you're talking about like, space and gods and like wizards in space, and like it's
Absolutely.
like exactly that. I
Yeah.
like it. I like it. So goddamn, but that's a lot of work though.
Yeah, it is like, and that's why it's been a little slow process of like, writing the script I thought was going to be the hard part. Turns out that was kind of the easy part. Like the revisions are difficult because like cutting things and adding things and trying to figure out how to actually make your story make sense all the way through, like very difficult job. But then you sit down and you're like, okay, how do I actually lay this out on a page? So, and it's going to be, I think right now the plan is to make it into 3 books.
Oh my god.
You
never do anything easy.
Well, turns out comics are like stupidly hard.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I really admire. I mean, I read a lot of like manga, like Japanese comics. They make it look easy, but they're coming out with like 17 pages every week.
Yeah, I know.
They don't sleep.
I was watching a YouTube video about, because I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Big
I
JoJo
love
fan.
it. So I was watching like a YouTube video about the person that made it, and that person was making a new comic like every week.
Yes.
That's like how?
I don't know. Like it blows my mind. And then there's all this other art they have to create for like branding and like promotion around it. Like they have to do the covers for the volumes when they come out. It's just like,
Yeah.
and like they do have a team of assistants, but it's
But
like
still.
it still just barely gets them across the finish line every
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Anyway, well, good luck.
Yeah, yeah. I
Good
mean,
luck.
even just like paneling it out, like I do little thumbnails and just draw the squares in to try to figure out the pacing.
Where it's gonna be?
And I'm like, oh my god, it's like 30 pages of script turns into
Yeah.
20 pages of script turns into 64 pages of comics.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
the thing too, because like script is words and stuff, but you actually have to put the people, and then you have to decide, is it gonna be 2 or 3 or like a whole page?
Yeah, absolutely.
God damn.
Yeah, comics is a very interesting medium. I love it though because it's like very like cinematic. It is like a movie in some ways, and the best comics like your brain like fills in what's going on in between the panels, and like you see these like incredible things in your mind, and it's just like it's really beautiful, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm curious though. So like you love Marvel and stuff, and then Iron Man was great, and all that stuff. What do you think from your, like your point of view is happening with Marvel now?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about the mainstream for a second. I will say, when the Marvel cinematic universe first launched, I was pretty excited about it because I love comics, and the first 10 years of those movies, like it's like, oh, finally it's like actually like watching a comic. And going back and rewatching some of those movies, like most of them don't really hold up as movies, but I really love the characterization. Like those movies made me actually like Iron Man for one, who I always thought was super boring. Loved Iron Man in the movies because the character is so interesting. Like I actually liked Captain America. It's like, oh, this character is actually like interesting to like watch his progression through the movies. So to me, it's like those movies. As movies, they're like, a C plus at best a lot of the time. But the characters, like I loved following the characters through their journeys. And, seeing that culminate in like Infinity War and Endgame. It's like, okay, that was a lot of fun. Nowadays, I think the popular opinion is that they've lost the plot, figuratively and literally. And I tend to agree with that. I think they forgot what makes it special. I think, having a company like Disney who is just like eating everything up. It's the same with Star Wars. Like Star Wars sucks now. Like I loved Star Wars when I was younger. I was obsessed with those movies.
But Andor
is amazing. Yes.
I don't know anything. Actually, oh my God. Wow. So I'm not like a Star Wars anything. Like I know I'm your father. Like I know that.
Yeah.
But I don't really know Star Wars anything. I kind of know that, there's a family and Skywalker and all that stuff. And then that they told the 3 thing opposite. Like they did the 3 after, before, and all that stuff.
I thought there were only 6 Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah, but the one with the girl and like Rise of whatever and
nope, never heard of it.
Okay. But so this day, right? I'm just like I think I was like recovering from an illness or whatever. And like, okay, I'm at home for whatever. I'm just gonna watch something. I don't know what to watch. And, a friend suggested to watch Andor, and I'm like, okay, Star Wars, whatever. And the whole point of it is that it's so Rogue One is its own thing, and like you cannot see what led to Rogue One happening because everybody dies, right? In Rogue One. So I finished the 2 seasons in like 2 days or whatever. It's that good.
Yeah, it
and
is
like
really
it's
good.
not about like the swords, and it's just like, I mean, it's kind of what is happening in real life.
That's why I think, and also besides that, like the production and the script is really great. But it's almost that good because it's not very Star Wars-y.
Yeah.
That which is interesting to me. I mean, we can't forget like Star Wars was the original like hit like indie movie in a way. It's like like Fox distributed it, but like it was George Lucas's like brainchild, and he kind of he worked he was a known quantity in the movie industry. But it was like he had to get that funding himself. He built it from the ground up. Like people don't realize that
They were
because
not
Star Wars,
it wasn't a short thing.
And also the like just the love and creativity that went into especially the first 3 movies. And people forget that. And people also forget that even that the prequel movies were like the funding came from different places, but like largely that was like something that happened because one guy, George Lucas, wanted to make it happen. And you can say what you want about the prequels. I loved them when they came out, and I hated them for years, and now I love them again because they're just fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like I actually love most of the goofy moments in it, because you realize like Star Wars is kind of like a campy adventure. Like it's supposed to be pulpy. Like I think people saw the production value and thought it was going to be something else, but it's really supposed to be like a revival of like those old 50s serials that's like, yeah, were like basically like were filmed like they were, and they were like all stage actors, so they're all projecting,
let's just do
striking big poses and stuff, and saying how they felt to the audience, you know. And so I've really come to appreciate those Star Wars movies, and I do, again, it's like, you know, Disney is like basically the evil empire.
Yeah,
and,
they just.
yeah, and yeah, getting back to like Marvel, it's like I think the money kind of interfered. They're like, oh, we got a good thing going, we got to keep making this happen. It's like no one's at the steering wheel, you know, and they've bought up everything, and it's kind of funny being older now, and like all of this stuff you grew up with that was so is all like in one place. It's kind of funny, you know. Did you see or read Dune?
Not yet, but okay. I've read part of, like I know of the thing. Actually, I've seen the first one.
Yeah. Dune's really cool. I actually definitely take a bit of inspiration. The books get pretty weird. I think I had to drop off at God Emperor of Dune. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? You know, there's this, like, you know, spoiler alert, you know, guy turns into a giant worm and basically, you know, lives for 5,000 years and then gets sad because he can't get laid because he got rid of those body parts. He didn't need them anymore, and he's like, damn, I kind of miss having sex. So then he throws himself off a cliff. Anyway, it's not exactly what happened actually, but anyway, the Dune books get weird. But the thing about the Dune books that like really got me, really cool stuff. Everyone's obsessed with like the fact that he kind of created this ecosystem. But to me, the thing that always stuck out about Dune was in the future, there's only one corporation called CHOAM, and that's where everyone buys all of their stuff. And they don't really talk about it a lot. It's just something that gets kind of mentioned in the background text. But it's like that's Disney. That's Disney in like 3,000 years. They are CHOAM, and they've like bought everything. They sell everything. Like you will buy your groceries from Disney in 1,000 years.
But like to get off the MCU, if you're gonna pick like your top 3 movies from the last, you know, from all they've made in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what would your top 3 be?
What would my top 3 be? For comic books?
No, just in the movies.
Oh, in the movies. What have I seen recently? You know, I'll be honest, I hate these questions because I immediately blank when somebody asks me. It's like, oh, actually, I haven't seen any movies in like at least 20 years, which is not true.
Right.
You know, like, I like these like weird artsy movies that like I'm incapable of, like the kind of work that I'm incapable of making, you know, like, you know, there's...
Oh, no, I didn't make the canvas that broad, just in the MCU.
Oh, just in the MCU.
Yeah, just in the MCU.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll be honest. I really liked the Doctor Strange sequel.
Oh, the sequel.
Yeah, the Multiverse of Madness.
When he was rewinding the guy, and that's how he won Dormammu. Is that
was the first one?
Oh, okay.
And there's a second one where he trips through the multiverse.
Oh, when the world is crashing into itself.
And like Wanda is like,
she's the bad person.
It's like,
oh, right.
And like, yeah, no, that movie in some ways didn't really make a whole lot of sense in the broader scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I love Sam Raimi as a director. I recently showed my kid Army of Darkness.
That is a very cool film.
Yeah.
I love that film. It's perfect. It's one of those, like, there's nothing wrong about it. Although, what did you, like, were there different endings?
So, yeah, that's also what I love about those movies, because, like, Evil Dead is a pretty self-contained movie, and then Evil Dead 2, they kind of pretend Evil Dead didn't even happen, And then he does go back in time at the Evil Dead 2, but they like at the end of Evil Dead 2, they like worship him as like the Messiah or something. They're like the chosen one, and he's like, "No, I'm not the chosen one." And then the movie ends. And then at the beginning of Army of Darkness, he's like bound, and he's like being like taken to like slaughtered. So it's like, oh, so the ending of the last movie actually just got overwritten. And it's like, I love this like messing around with continuity. Another show that I really loved that did that a lot was called Red Dwarf, which is another inspiration. And every season of Red Dwarf, like because they wanted to poke fun at like all the nerds, like the Star Trek and Star Wars nerds who had all of the lore memorized. You know, so like every season of Red Dwarf, like the size of their spaceship would change, and the population would change. Like one season there was 1 million people on the ship. The next season there were 5,000 people on the ship, and it didn't really matter anyway because they were all dead. So, but like stuff like that, I love it. Yeah,
because I was like, I remember one Army of Dead I saw at the ending. He took too much of the thing, and then he went like way into the future. But then I've seen another one that he took like less of the thing and was in a different future. But I love Army of Darkness anyway.
Yeah.
What did your kid think of the movie?
He really liked it. Achilles, my child, who is also very talented and does comics. They have a comic called Death Donuts. Which is about a donut shop where you can go and you can get a regular donut if you want, or you can order. Actually, I haven't seen anyone order the Death Donut yet, but lots of people die in the shop. It's usually a giant hammer. Yeah. Yeah. So, which is great. Kids are so morbid. I think it's so sweet.
It's wild. Okay, so we've been talking about, your music and the art, but I want to see the art because you have some cool stuff in the studio.
I did bring some things with
me. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, so should I just pull some things out of my tickle trunk?
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, let's start with, I think you might have heard of me maybe through my work with Nocturne. Is that true?
Yep.
So, I just brought a little sample of, there's a little dust on this, but from hanging up. But, there's the poster that I made for Nocturne 2024, which I'm super proud of.
Yeah, it's pretty colorful and stuff. What were you thinking of when you made this one?
We wanted to kind of showcase like the streets of Halifax because it is a street festival at its core, and they I really loved working with the crew at Nocturne and the curator Shivanjan Karmakar, who's a very good friend of mine, who curated the festival that year, and they really embraced my natural inclination toward like cartooniness, comics, bright colors, that kind of thing. So they just kind of told me to go wild. And for some reason, when I think of Nocturne, I think of like arts in Halifax. Like, I kind of thought of like the old like Kyber Club, So I took some buildings from there, and I went and took some photos for reference, and then created this piece around it. And this piece is actually almost fully digital, which is also another like unusual move for me. I often start at least with like pencil, and then I'll scan that into the computer and do the rest later. I used to do a lot of inking as well by hand, but I haven't been doing that lately, to be honest. I'm a little out of practice with ink, which I'm sad about. But that's the future, baby.
Right. It's funny, you were talking about buildings and windows, and this is all full of windows.
I know. You know what? You're right. But I had some fun. You don't always have to do a straight line when you're doing this kind of thing, which is great. This is a lot of fun. I tried to let my imagination go kind of wild with this sort of thing, and create like this like kind of like living organism to try to imply the streets coming alive and that sort of thing, and kind of bridge the gap between like imagination and dreams and fine art and kooky, weird fringe art and comic art, you know, like all these things. The high and low art, I wanted to kind of like bring them into the middle or elevate it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love this one. And yes, Nocturne was how I got introduced to your work, for sure.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I had a wonderful exhibit at the Trident Cafe as well, which was a lot of fun. And then the following year, I did work with EVERYSEEKER.
Okay,
yeah.
this is very sci-fi.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind this one?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. This creature is like very like unknown to me. Like I know I was bragging earlier about like creating backstories for all my characters, but this one is an absolute mystery. This one is more of a feeling, I think, than part of a larger world. And EVERYSEEKER is a very like special kind of music and art festival here in Halifax. It kind of also brings together like this almost like fine art world and the fringe artists as well. You know, it's a place for them. There's a lot of artists involved with EVERYSEEKER who could potentially be a part of like something like Jazz Fest. But then there's a lot of artists that could never be a part of a festival like that.
Yeah.
And it brings those two worlds together, and I love it. It brings together really organic music with like electronic elements and that kind of thing. And honestly, the vibe I get from that festival, having attended it, is like it's kind of spooky sometimes. So, and yeah, and there's a long line of art produced for EVERYSEEKER from years gone by. So I felt like I had some big shoes to fill.
Wow.
So I wanted to create a piece that invoked something.
Yeah. And like, you know, so it's like there's a creature and then like the rays coming out of the creature, like these are the people performing, yeah?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And, you know, I've had comments from people saying like, it's like, hey, that's really hard to read. I got to tilt my head sideways, because most people look at a poster and they think of it as an advertisement. I got started kind of in the music scene. I was doing music, but like people got to know me as a poster artist. Like in 2015, I won the Coast's Gold Best Poster Artist, which was a surprise. I didn't like solicit anybody for that. But yeah, and of course, you know, how many clients would come to me and be like, "Can you make the words bigger?" And they were already enormous. It's like they don't trust anyone to actually read a poster, and that's fair. That's fair, because like most people don't. You know what I mean? But EVERYSEEKER is a festival that's for people that want to like pay attention, right? So if you don't want to stop and absorb this in, like the festival might not actually be for you. You know, it's not a place to go and drink and party. It's a place to really like sink into the art. You know what I mean? So that's really the impetus behind this piece. And yeah, the figure is like a bit of like mixed media and meant to evoke kind of like an otherworldly feeling there. So
yeah, I said sci-fi.
yeah, absolutely.
Another thing I love about your work is that they're all like, and this is not going to sound objective at all, but they're all beautiful. Is that something you like to at least look pleasing? If that's like, but to me they're so like pretty, like very inviting. You know. So even if like there's a scary, you know, I can't wait to talk about that one. But like it's still beautiful.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. This is something I've realized about my art, is that I don't like drawing ugly things. Like even when I draw a monster, I want it to appear beautiful in some aspect. Partially because I think there is opportunity and real beauty in everything, you know? And I love to draw out those elements more than anything else.
Okay, so at least I wasn't blind, because I'm like, it's pretty, even though it's like this, you know, not so good thing, but it's still pretty. That's how I feel for your work.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. All right.
Let's see what we've got here. Some folks maybe will recognize this lion symbol. This is the symbol we used for my co-parent and I used to run like a little co-op called Berserker Lion, and we would do a lot of art for local bands and promotional material. But anyway, we won't fawn over it for too long. Let me see. Yeah, got like
The lion again.
the old portfolio. Yeah, the line here. This has got a lot of classics. This is here's like this might strike people as more like a corporate piece or something because it is like a vector art. But I tell you, I spent a long time making all these individual trees
No.
and drawing these like boats and the kayak guy. Yeah, and it was created with vectors as opposed to like drawing in a program.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people probably know the difference there, right? But it creates these very clean lines, and yeah. So I actually like created all of these houses myself. I didn't download any of this stuff. Like even every blade of grass,
I've asked you this like 5 times now. Why do you like making things so difficult?
I don't know. Okay, yeah. I have not learned. My friends have told me it's like you need to learn how to say good enough is good enough.
Right.
Just send the project. And I can't, it's so hard. It's so hard. I want everything to look really good. You know, partially because like, you know, somebody who doesn't know me might be seeing it for the first time and I want to make a good impression. But also I want to be able to look at it later and be really proud of it.
Fair enough.
And yeah, so sometimes like I miss a deadline because of that, but it hurts me deeply when I put out something and I don't feel like it's 100%, you know? So
How do you know when he's ready though?
Wow. Asking the tough questions again.
No, because like you just said, like, I mean, to me, they're all pretty, but you might be like, I don't know if this is ready and stuff. But so how do you know it's like, okay, good to go?
Wow. Yeah. That's hard to say. Sometimes it is the deadline that tells you when it's ready to go. Let's be honest.
It has to come out on Friday, so
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good.
But it's totally like a feeling, you know? It's
Okay.
like, I don't even know how many times I've drawn something to near completion and I said, this isn't it. And you start over and do it again. And you can just tell something's different. You know what I mean? And
Oh.
like sometimes you can tell when it starts that you're on the right track. And then
Yeah.
other times you have to wait until it's done. But I think, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting away from the original question. But I think something is done. Like there's this like kind of feeling you get like it's just like popping out at you. It's like when you feel like it's telling you a story, you know, then you can say it's done.
Okay,
Here's
this is cool.
Here's a cool poster that I did for my friend Brandon Voyer, who really needs to start playing more shows again. If you're watching, Brandon, but who's more involved, I think, in the theater world, and I believe just released a book as well. So,
Oh wow.
so really getting into
Do you
writing.
do any plays theater? Do you do that?
We're getting there, but I've got really too many things going on, I guess, right now.
okay.
You know, the band takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
Art takes up a lot of time. Comics take up a lot of time. So but I would love to. I went to Fringe Festival last year, and I was like, I really want to write a play. And I am working with my friend Francine Dulong on a musical. So, which seems like the right move.
Yeah.
But you know, I really love telling stories, so I feel like theater is something I want to get back into, and it's actually somewhere where I started too.
Oh.
Like I grew up in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, where there's a really beautiful theater called the Astor Theater, and I mean I used to go see a movie there every week, but they also have a beautiful stage, and I saw a lot of local productions, and every I think 2 years they have an international theater festival, and that was a really beautiful experience to see these productions in other languages and to see people like stage things that you didn't think was possible. You know, you see your local troupe play and they do, you know, Little Shop of Horrors, and you're like, well, that's really cool. I really like that giant plant that you built and the songs that you sang, or doing Grease. You know, it's just like, but then you see somebody come and like string up these like enormous, like make the stage look like they're on a ship or something, and put up these huge like masts and sails across the stage, and yeah, just like beautify it in a way that you didn't know was possible, and then those folks disappear back to like Sweden or Denmark or what have you, and you never see or hear from them again, but you're left with the impact of
Yeah,
these
what they
incredible
did.
experiences, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a fun one.
Yeah. No, that okay. Great.
And then here's a piece of art. My old band, This Ship. Yeah, this one was done entirely by hand, actually. It's one of the rare ones. This was done with like marker and pen and ink. Yeah.
Much work.
It is, yeah. It probably.
And it's so detailed.
Yeah, sometimes I look at this and I don't know if I could draw it again. You know?
It's done. It's there.
It's done. It's there. It's part of the canon.
Yeah.
I really love doing this one. That was a lot of fun. Here's some fun. I'll throw back here. I don't. Do you read comics at all?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you don't recognize this one. So sometimes something I like to do is borrow things. So this is actually a redraw of the cover of Action Comics #1 with Superman.
Oh, holding the thing.
Yeah, except he had a car. I don't know why I was using a car to slam another car. That doesn't seem very Supermanish to me, but yeah. So I redrew it here for unidentified funk object. Although rather than draw the band, that's my friend Shivanjan there. Stabbing the because Shivanjan was the mastermind behind the Superfluid Collective. Involved a lot of other folks too. But yeah, I was like, hey, I put you on a poster. Be my friend. I used to do a lot of work for. Oh, here's a recent one actually I did for Goodnight Sunrise. This is a show actually I played with them and with Salt Lamp, who are really great. Yeah, this really ties into my love of comics. And
Yeah, it looks like that one with the something metal.
Heavy Metal magazine.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of heavy metal. It's pretty edgy stuff, but that's why we love it. So someday I would love to get something into heavy metal if I'm up for it. Sometimes I do just straight up photoshopping. This is the release poster for our show from last night with our friends Chase Clark and the Night Watch, really great band, and DJ Diane Telkuel of the Dark Room Halifax. And yeah, so Sam Turpin, friend of mine, did the photography for this. We took these photos in the St. George Round Church, which is just down on the corner from here. And then we went down to these steps are a modified version of the Queen's Marquee down at the waterfront. I think people thought we were nuts getting in the water there.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
But the things we do for art.
Right.
And then, yeah, created all these elements, removed the walls, created like these pillars here. The sunset is also Sam's work from down in Yarmouth, I believe. And so combined all these elements into this like crazy Photoshop project. And as you can see, we all appear multiple times on the photo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's so cool. It's actually really cool.
And let me see if I have any other highlights. I'll just quickly flip through these because these are from kind of the yesteryear. That Soho Ghetto, who I did a lot of work with. Really love those folks. This one was Floodland.
With your former band, this sheet?
This ship, yeah. This is the one I performed in. So we did a lot of shows with folks. And oh yeah, here's an old.
I like this one.
Here's an old favorite. You might know.
You really like color though.
Really like color. Although I think Bethany actually colored this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, hey, will you color this for me? Yeah. But I think I went back in and did the shading. She picked the colors, and then I went back in with like a darker piece to like kind of give them a little more depth. And yeah, you might notice some like game and pop culture references here. And a cat.
Yeah, the gray one.
This is an interesting one for an art exhibit that we did. Yeah, it's a weird piece. It's a weird piece. It's just weird. It's more classics. Sometimes I'm sweet and sentimental, when it calls for it. This is actually one of my very first gig posters. This is back when I think the band would have had the right to complain about illegibility and being unable to read their name.
See what the thing is in there.
But they quite liked it, so they were kind of agreeable to it, which is kind of nice.
Do the seasons decide what you put on your poster?
They can, yeah. I have enjoyed drawing a lot of like winter stuff. Snow is a hard thing to draw sometimes, but it can be fun. You know, it's better than in the summer and stuff when you're drawing all these like leafy things. Trees are very time consuming, but I love drawing bark.
Okay.
That's one of the things I actually love to.
But like those things that can get quite detailed though.
They can get quite detailed. Some things you learn as an artist is like how to take shortcuts and create texture. A hard lesson to learn, but not impossible. It's part of the fun.
Oh, this is a fun one.
Yeah, and sometimes the best posters I've made are the simplest ones, you know?
So this one is simple? It doesn't look that simple.
Well, it's simple in the sense that, you know, there were certain decisions to make with like the shape, because it's all about the shape. But it was easy to draw in the sense that I didn't have to do any like shading or anything. You know? So I could sketch it out pretty quickly and then figure out what to do with it.
That's pretty dope. I like that one.
It's a festival we put on back in the day. Flight of Fall. So there's some of those leaves that we were talking about. And yeah, I like drawing birds too. Seamus Erskine of The Brood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is one of those, a couple times I ended up drawing the band that I was working with. So yeah, you'd get like Seamus and his brother, Joel, Adrian, you know, try to capture their personalities there. I also really love drawing things at this like isometric 3/4 view. It's a lot of fun. Let's skip that one. Did this poster for Dan Mangan at Halifax Pop Explosion, if anyone remembers that.
Love Halifax Pop.
Yeah, I miss it. Yeah, another opportunity to draw some weird characters, you know?
That's also winter, right?
This is, it could be. It's kind of meant to be like the afterlife in some ways. I think the album that was out at that time kind of dealt with some themes of mortality and death. So, yeah, I wanted to imply that, yeah, he's waking up somewhere that's not quite home.
Where he wants to be.
Yeah. Actually, here's one I actually don't really like anymore. I don't like this poster at all.
Why not?
You know, it's too flat. It's too
Oh,
flat.
because you like
Yeah.
3D-ish type.
Yeah.
It's not that flat, though.
Well,
Because, like,
I
there's
shouldn't
a
say
mold.
these things, should I? I should say, I don't like this poster. This is a terrible poster.
No. It's pretty dope.
It's pretty good. I was told that Broken Social Scene took a copy of it back home with them, so that's pretty cool. They're cool guys, right? Another this ship. Yeah, this one's kind of fun. Not much to say there. Yeah, we're getting Alice Stops Time. Cool band. One of my first posters. You can really see, if you were to look at this and then see my newer stuff, I think you'd really see like the difference between, or my progress. Like this is one of the first times I drew a car. It's a little dark if you could see it up close. I think you'd see that I don't draw cars very well, but
That looks pretty nice, though. So Minus World.
and then Minus Worlds from our original EP release. As you can see, we're going for that sci-fi thing pretty early on. We love it. There's another Minus World. Oh yeah, and then the Sweet Deals, was a precursor to the Brood. If you look closely, you can see a Bleach reference with this sword.
Oh.
Any Bleach fans at home?
Yeah.
Highly recommended. If you don't know it. Okay, this is actually one I really wanted to show. My deepest apologies to Sydney Smith. Sydney Smith is a local artist who is so incredibly talented that I would be honored just to stand in his shadow. And I did so with this poster. I actually copied the layout of a Hey Rosetta poster that he made, and it featured like this kind of looking glass thing going on and this landscape, but it was like two people on a bicycle. Very whimsical, looked very like 1930s. And I'm like, let's see this in the future. So I did this. And this is maybe the first or second gig poster I think I ever did.
Wow.
Like way, way back. And one of the first Minus World shows ever, which was a lot of fun. Back before I think I even had a drummer. I did a couple solo shows before Kat joined the band.
Oh.
But yeah, Sydney is very gracious. I hope they like this kind of tongue-in-cheek tribute to their incredible work. Very incredible work. Let me see. I don't want to take up too much time here. I mean, I guess this is why we're here, isn't it? Yeah.
We're talking about your art, yeah?
Yeah. And then, yeah, this is a fun one, too. No Flyers, Please. Classic Halifax band. Yeah, a lot of people, again, people like the simple stuff. It has like, and yeah, like, you know, gig posters are essentially ads when it comes down to it. So I think they're art. Most people think they're ads. Oh, I'm sorry, I touched the microphone.
No, we're good.
Most people think they're advertisements, but they are art, darling. That's all right. We got to play with cousins. That was really cool. Wow, the Light Brights. Nobody's remembering that band.
I love that moon.
Yeah, the weird moon. This is a very early poster, so if you compare this to like my current work, you can really see the progression there. Yeah, and that's kind of about it there.
Okay, let's see the monster. Well, not monster, but you know, has horns.
Yeah, they have horns. So we, and then there's one other thing that I'll show off after that.
Okay. I'll get it.
Yeah, let's get both of these ladies out here.
Okay, so let's start with that one first.
So this
is out.
Yeah, this.
Oh, even has colors. I didn't even notice the colors.
Yeah, a little bit of color there.
Yeah.
So this is a part of a diptych, I think it's called, of two sisters. I painted these at Future Forest last year.
Oh.
Because even though it's like kind of like a EDM festival and good vibes only, I'm like, it's like I want to freak people out, you know. So I was like, I'm gonna draw some demons, and I wanted to do something kind of black and white and simple. So I definitely do typically like more colorful stuff when I paint. But I really wanted to bring the sisters along just because I admire them so much.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
So yeah, this is our first sister. And then sister number 2, who you might think is not having that great of a time, but
Because puking or...
Yeah, but she feels great. Just so you know. I mean, that's demon life, baby.
So what has 2 horns? Oh wait, it's 2 horns and ears, right? Okay. Never mind. I thought it was 3 horns, but it's 2.
Okay. Yeah, the other sister has a number of horns.
Okay.
Yeah, how many? She's got like 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't counting.
She's ahead in the game. But yeah, you know, I wanted to like just draw some like weird demons. Demons are also kind of a part of like the world that I'm kind of building. So they're like an interesting kind of thing. Like demons.
Does the world have a name?
Not really, no. It is like a future version of our universe.
Oh.
So Earth existed in the past.
So this is 99K?
It's 99K, but that's a bit of a misnomer.
Oh, okay.
Because like the main character, it's so much to explain. But basically, like the main character who is one of the main characters who's a wizard. Wizards in this world also experience multiple timelines.
Oh.
So when a wizard dies, they eventually kind of like come back, but in a new body and with new experiences, you know. But they eventually like regain their memories of their past lives.
Oh.
So one of the main characters is a wizard who his only other life was on Earth in like 2025. Yeah.
Oh boy.
He died the day before the Elden Ring DLC dropped. So he never got to play Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's really unfortunate. It's very central to the plot. Not really, but but that's essentially and yeah. So that's one of the, so Earth did exist, But the it's called 99K, but it's like it's kind of a misleading thing because he thinks it's 99,000 years in the future, but then learns that it's actually 99 billion years in the future.
Oh fuck.
Which sounds absurd,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to. Because there is an element of comedy there, and again, like Red Dwarf, and I'm kind of like poking fun at the whole lore thing and how much some writers struggle to maintain a sense of realism in their science fiction. And I'm like, nah, forget about that.
When
It's like
billion years in the future, anything can happen. Anything is possible now.
anything can happen. Like magic is as common as high technology, you know?
Talking about magic and high technology, I said I was going to touch on AI.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Well, if I'm being honest, I think we might be in a bad place.
In what way?
Well, I understand, AI can be used for good, but we live in a world of some pretty obnoxiously bad people
Right.
who love money more than Mother Earth. My thoughts on AI is that it's the kind of technology that no matter what good could come from it, it's going to be exploited in some very, very bad ways. And I think this is a pretty common thread, but I think most people didn't imagine that AI was going to take jobs away from artists and creatives first before it took jobs away from other workers. And certainly there's some pain being felt, I think, in the tech sector as well. And even with like communications and some administrative folks. I can see the case being made for AI helping you out with your like cover letter and resume, or to create like documentation and stuff. But the fact that it's become more and more common for AI to like replace art, and we already live in a world with like Instagram and TikTok where everything is so blazing fast, and people are so used to seeing perfection all the time. It's a struggle right now as an artist because there's a lot of pressure to create things that are like not just like perfect, but like competitive with the greatest of the great.
Right.
Otherwise, like nobody is gonna look at you. And AI is able to replicate art that has, unless you're like inspecting it closely, has the appearance of being perfected art in a lot of ways. And it is unfortunately getting better at hands. The situation a little while ago where people were obsessed with like creating like Studio Ghibli art of themselves. And, it's like, I can talk shit about AI art, and I do. But like, let's face it, you look at that and you're like,
yeah,
if I'd seen somebody draw it in front of me, I'd say like, you are a phenomenal artist. That's kind of a dangerous thing. You know what I mean? What are we going to do with that technology? I'm not sure. And then you have like, I think it's called Sora 2, which is being developed and being able to create movies and stuff. And like a lot of people are really embracing it and getting ahead of the game. Like people are using it. I've seen on TikTok people using it to create like photorealistic avatars of themselves, just with like nicer face, bigger muscles, like wearing clothes that they don't own and don't have to buy.
Right.
And I'm like, I guess that's cool, but like we're entering into a virtual world. Like we were already feeling maybe like 10 years ago with like the advent of social media that we weren't leaving the house enough. What's going to happen now? You know what I mean? Like I feel like we've been in a bubble for a little while and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm old enough to have grown up without the internet, and then to have participated in the internet as it came around as a teenager. And I was a part of that like online culture. Like I met and made a lot of friends in online spaces, so I do know what that's like too. And also like I'm a notorious gamer as well, or used to be. I pretty much only play Elden Ring now, but because I don't have time to play anything else. And I do love indie games actually. But here I am going off on a tangent. But what I mean to say is, I'm familiar with both sides of that coin, I guess. I remember what it was like to leave the house for hours and hang out with your friends in the woods, and then come home at sundown for dinner. and then also what it was like to go home and sit on your computer for 5 hours and just talk to your friends there. Like I experienced both of those things growing up. And so I kind of appreciate both of them in a way. It's like I do love like the globalization that the internet has brought us and the fact that we can make friends all over the world. And, you know, I found a lot of really great music and was inspired by music that I could not have found otherwise, right? Like all the video game music I was able to get my claws on, you know, music from Japan, music from Europe, that otherwise just could never have experienced without the internet and the whole Napster thing, right? But now we're in a space where like streaming music is like, it lacks like, and the same with visual art, it lacks like this element of intention, I think. So people are very passive with their engagement with art now. And I think AI is going to compound that problem in a lot of ways, as well as like social media like TikTok, where we're used to like basically like consuming content and media in like 5-second spurts, you know?
Right.
So
Wow.
yeah, you know,
I saw some videos in Sora too, and it's like, wait, what? I mean, obviously, you know, it's not real, but like, what?
yeah, seen some pretty interesting things. Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to reality now. Who is she? Yes, yes, yes.
She's
yes.
our merch girl. Yeah, and she did make an appearance on our album cover as well, but she's a little hard to see in the background there. But yeah, she's an old friend of mine. I found her on the street, quite literally. The neighbors were throwing her out, and I'm like,
No.
I like mannequins. You're coming home with me. Yeah, but she's great. I love this element of like physical art. Like you bring her to a show, and it's like we're not just a band playing; we're also weirdos, you know. So yeah, I love to like dress up these things. She's a little bit of that like world building that we love to do, you know.
Dope.
Yeah.
Someone asked me a question, and I said I'll always ask guests that come to the show this question because it kind of blew my mind. But I'll ask you now, Jupiter, what's something that happened to you before you were 17 that plays a huge role in who you are now?
You know, that was a long time ago.
Right, right.
That was a long time ago. Let me think. When I was 17, I was, I guess, getting toward the end of high school. At that time, I was, you know, starting to get involved. I often forget about this, actually, but I was volunteering. I mentioned the International Theatre Festival that happened in Liverpool, and I actually got to start doing that when I was a teenager, and helping out with that kind of thing. And it was like a lot of fun, like doing like tickets and that sort of thing, and getting to see how art was kind of put together in that respect, like performance art, which is like a big aspect of what I do, besides the visual art elements. And that was my like introduction to that world through the International Theatre Festival and working with the Astor Theatre when I was younger. It was also around that time I did become more interested in music. My friends and I formed a heavy metal band yeah, around that age. And that was my first experience like singing on stage in front of people. And I think that's when like the performance bug really bit me. Because I really love performance art, you know. Sometimes music and playing in a live band can feel a little bit like, it can feel a little self-absorbed. Like sometimes it can feel like you're just up there for yourself, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people like look at me and they see somebody who, you know, is like trying to get their attention, you know what I mean? For lack of a better term, which in my mind is a complete misread of who I'm trying to be as like a queer person, or who I am as a queer person. You know, my identity is like very much like worn on my sleeve. Like I'm not pretending to be somebody else. I'm just always trying to be myself. And being on a stage in front of people is actually the first time I actually felt free to express myself, because, and especially as a teenager, it's like you don't know what to do with yourself, you know what I mean? And in a very real way, that was the first time I like wore like eyeliner in front of people, because I finally had that excuse to like get on a stage and look like and be myself, you know? And then you crawl off stage and you take the makeup off and you put your t-shirt back on and you pretend to be somebody you're not to get by in the world, especially in a small town.
Right.
But that was like the beginning of like the self-expression that I was trying to achieve and trying to figure out who I was.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. You've brought so much magic. A little bit of magic of mine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Magic.
So, you're going to write one number between 1 and 60. Do
Okay.
not show me. Once you're done, you can point it to the cameras. And these cards are going to help me tell you what your number is. Hopefully. Hopefully.
We hope. You can just edit the video later.
Okay. You
All
have it written? Yeah, you can point it. I'm going to look away. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so these cards are going to help me. Now, your number is going to be in at least one of these cards, but it can be more than one, okay? So I'll need your help here. Is it here, your number? Is it there?
No.
Oh, that's not good. He's usually in the first one, but okay.
Oh.
No.
No.
Okay, what number did you pick? Jupiter. Which one?
It's not on that one either.
Huh. This isn't good. Is he here?
No.
Is he here?
It is, yes.
It's here. Okay, is he here?
And it is there as well.
Huh. Okay, no, wait.
Show me one more time.
Yeah, let's go through it again. It's not here.
They're not like mixed up, right?
Yeah, it's not in order, right? But like, if your number is there, you'll see it.
Okay.
It's not there.
No. No. Nope. Nope, not on any of this.
24. Yes!
Wait.
Magic!
I'm not going to think about it too hard because my brain will explode. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your work, and thank you so much for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, really incredible experience. I'm a fan now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.